Hey friends, Ash here with Gents with another fragrance review. Today I'm taking a look at a fragrance from the house of Halloween. It's their new release, Halloween Man X. And this house actually used to be called Jesus del Pozo. They had a fragrance called Quasar, which I actually own. It came in a funky, futuristic, kind of plasticky bottle. But now they just go by Halloween. I covered this fragrance on one of my This Week in Fragrance videos a number of months ago, and actually a lot of people were looking forward to this one, so I wanted to go ahead and cover it for you here. I'm going to go ahead and quickly check out the presentation, and then I'll break this fragrance down for you and let you know if it's something that you should check out. So let's jump into this. Alright guys, it's presentation time. Here you got the box. You can see there Halloween Man X, size and concentration down here at the bottom. Got X's on either side, nothing on the back. Halloween at the top, and then on the bottom, your batch code and your ingredient information. And here you've got the bottle. Comes in your typical Halloween Man bottle. So if you have any of the other fragrances, the exact same thing going on here. This one does have a really nice gradient where it goes from black to a dark blue down here at the bottom. Hopefully that comes across well on the camera. You can see here, Halloween Man. The cap does click into place, but it comes off really easily. So if you have a habit of picking up your bottles by the cap, don't do that with this one. Atomizer on this is good, same as the other Halloween Man releases. Then on the bottom, you have your sticker with your batch code. There we go, presentation for Halloween Man X. I do really like this bottle. I like the dark aesthetic. It looks really good. Like I said at the beginning of the video, this fragrance house used to go by the name Jesus del Pozo, which made a little more sense to me than now when it just goes by Halloween Man. Because really, when I think Halloween, I just think the holiday, where you dress up in a costume, kids go out and trick or treat, maybe people have Halloween parties and stuff like that. I don't think fragrances. Now maybe you could say, oh, it's Halloween Man, like when you spray this on, you become something new. I guess you could go that route with the name, but to me, it's a little bit goofy. That being said though, there are some gems in this line because you can get these fragrances really cheap. Halloween Man fragrances are heavily discounted at sites like FragranceNet and FragranceX. Most of the time you can pick up a bottle this size, which is a 4.2 ounce bottle, for under $25. When you first spray Halloween Man X on your skin, you're gonna need to let it settle for a second. When you first spray it on, it does have that kind of astringent, alcoholic feeling to your nose. So if you spray this on and immediately go in and smell it, it's not gonna smell nice. Once you let that settle down though, in my opinion, it smells great. I really like this fragrance. I'll tell you that right now, and I'll get into it more as we go on, but for me, this one is a winner. This fragrance has a blackjack accord, which is specific to this scent. It's something that the perfumer made for Halloween Man X. And you can pick up that blackjack accord immediately. Once you let that settle on your skin, you pick it up right away. The blackjack accord is made up of 3 notes: leather, whiskey, and roasted coffee. Of those 3 notes, the one that I pick up the strongest in the blackjack accord is the roasted coffee. This has a really prominent roasted coffee note. Now, just being straightforward with you guys here, Halloween Man X is a synthetic type of scent. This is not something that's gonna come across like a niche quality type fragrance, okay? But you shouldn't expect that because this is a fragrance you can pick up new for under 35 bucks. But the roasted coffee note here is really nice. It smells like a real roasted coffee bean. It's something that you can immediately pick out. If you've ever roasted coffee in your life, you're gonna smell that here and immediately know what it is. The whiskey in that blackjack accord adds a little bit of a slight boozy sweetness, but it's definitely playing second fiddle to the coffee. There's also a little bit of cinnamon and cardamom in here, and that adds a nice, warm, spicy backbone to that dominant, very prominent blackjack accord. Between those 2 notes, the cinnamon and the cardamom, you're gonna pick up the cinnamon more. That one's gonna be more recognizable, and it's gonna be more of a featured spice in this fragrance than the cardamom is, but they do work together really well. As this fragrance starts to dry down, that whiskey starts to be a little bit more noticeable, a little more recognizable. Initially, when you first spray this on, that coffee just really is the dominant note. The whiskey is a real bit player. but as it dries down, they start to come a little bit closer. So the coffee is still the thing that's most prominent to my nose, but that whiskey really starts to shine. There's also a special mineral accord that's in this fragrance, and that one I don't pick up as much. It's not something that really jumps out at me. That is the second of the 2 special accords that the perfumer made for this fragrance, and that accord is supposed to remind you of concrete in the city. I do get a really faint salt kind of mineral feeling with the vanilla-like tonka and the dry down kind of melding together. But again, it's really faint. And as far as the 2 special accords in this fragrance go, that one is completely overshadowed by the Blackjack Accord with the coffee, leather, and whiskey. And once you do hit that dry down, that Blackjack Accord, the coffee in it, the edges of that coffee kind of get rounded off. It's like the coffee mellows out because it is a lot stronger initially. It really is like a roasted coffee bean. It hits your nose pretty well, but once it hits that dry down, it's like it's just mellowed out, almost like you've let it sit there for a couple of hours, roasted coffee, and the edge is taken off. There's still some sweetness once you're in the dry down, again, from that whiskey, just the slightest boozy tinge there in the dry down. And then you have a semi-vanillic tonka that I mentioned before. You've still got some of the cinnamon from earlier, and there's also this light smokiness from incense in the dry down. It smells really nice. This is one that I enjoy from the opening to the mid to the dry down, and again, for that price, it's an absolute winner in my opinion. The Halloween Man line has some winners in there. The original Halloween Man, a lot of people really enjoy. That one's similar to 1 Million. Halloween Man Shot, a lot of people really like that one as well, but just hands down, straight up, the entire Halloween Man line, if I could pick only one, it is easily Halloween Man X. It's not close. This one is my favorite from the line, period. And that's nothing against those others in the line. I'm not crapping on all of those, but this one's just better. It's more unique. That Blackjack Accord really works for me. It's 3 notes that I enjoy, and they all work together. There's nothing here that smells out of place. Nothing comes across really screechy to me. Again, the ingredient quality here is not like you're going to find in a Dior, not like what you're gonna find in a Chanel, but it's also, you know, a third of the price of a lot of those fragrances, so I can't really hold that against it. This one's mainly gonna be that coffee, whiskey, leather, and then cinnamon and tonka, kind of in that order almost. That's what you're gonna get the most. I did notice a couple of people online made comparisons to Versace Eros and Salvatore Ferragamo Uomo with this fragrance. I don't really see it. They're their own fragrances, all 3 of those. Definitely not close to Eros. If you break those down side by side, completely different fragrances. Uomo does have that tiramisu kind of coffee note going on, but again, when you compare the 2 side by side, substantial differences there. I will say that if you like those fragrances, you will most likely like this one, but they're not the same. Projection for me in the first hour and a half is really good. It pumps out strongly, no issues whatsoever. After that, it starts to sit a little bit closer to my skin, but this is still a fragrance that, in my opinion, performs above average. Longevity for me overall was in the 6 to 7 hour range. Unless I went really heavy, then I could get a little better. And if I wanted to go really light, just a couple sprays, then it would last a little bit less. This fragrance is going to be one that's situated a little bit more for fall and winter just because of the nature of the notes. So you've got that coffee, whiskey, leather, cinnamon, tonka, all these notes working together, and those notes in general work better in cooler weather. So just by the nature of the makeup of this scent, it's going to be a little bit more of a fall and winter fragrance. This one trends more toward nightwear than daywear. I mean, that's just the way that the fragrance is marketed here. It's the note setup. I mean, look at the bottle. The whole thing is supposed to be reminding you of the night, right? The Blackjack Accord, concrete of the city, all that stuff is supposed to conjure up the imagery of being out on the town, you know. But realistically, wear it whenever you want. As far as being worn in casual or formal situations, it leans more toward casual, but of all the Halloween Man fragrances, this is probably your best bet as far as something that you could wear formally. Now, I wouldn't go heavy with it, but it is something that in certain situations, I think you could pull it off. It wouldn't be my first option, but it could work. There we go, Halloween Man X. This one actually really surprised me a lot better than I was expecting. If you like the notes that I've mentioned, especially the coffee in your fragrances, you should check this out in my opinion. One of the drawbacks of this being a Halloween release is that it's not going to be as easy to find as a lot of other houses' fragrances, so it's not going to be as easy to test out in a store. But the positive is the price, so if you do blind buy it and you don't like it for whatever reason, you're not out all that much. Like I said earlier, easily my favorite Halloween release. Again, the original Halloween Man, similar to 1 Million. Halloween Man Shot has drawn comparisons to Valentino Uomo Intense, Halloween Man Rock On, and Halloween Man Tattoo. Terrible names, but those are decent releases as well. But this one, in my opinion, is above all of those. This is one I'm legit gonna be wearing in the fall and probably winter too. So look forward to seeing this one in some lists on my channel in the future. That's gonna do it for me. Halloween Man X, psyched to have this one, really like it. If you've smelled this one, let me know what you think about it in the comments below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please do like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys again next time.